Hello my friends. Here I'm freezing in a sacred valley. You can see there is some new snow even up on the mountain. Yesterday we had a pretty bad storm with hail in Cusco. I'm happy that I'm going to be leaving soon from here. It's just too cold for me. I'm not used to it, especially because the houses don't have any heating. So it's not a problem being outside in the cold, but when you're inside, I try to do some work, try to type, and my fingers are freezing. It's not a fun. Anyway, so this is going to be a short video, just debunking a little bit of the stupidity about the cancer. Sometime in 1940s, Otto Warburg got his Nobel Prize on a cancer, saying that the cancer is caused by dehydrated cells, because all cancer cells look like a prune. They are very, very dehydrated. So he basically claimed the dehydration as a cause of a cancer. Well, he got Nobel Prize for it because, of course, this knowledge is not going to get us anywhere because it's a fake knowledge. And always Nobel Prizes are given to science or to people that whose so-called breakthrough can be used by our handlers to work on it and just to keep us deeper in darkness. Today we know that every cell has a charge, voltage about 1.4 volts, similar to the small AA, AAA batteries. And they try to maintain this charge. This charge we call energy. And when cells, well, to be able to maintain this charge, the cell has to be slightly acidic. So when we are being told, well, we have to alkalize, well, we can make as much damage with alkalinity as we can do with acidity, because you just cannot go and alkalizing things which are supposed to be acidic. Same like a battery in a car that needs acidity to maintain the charge. If you increase the acidity, the battery cannot maintain the charge. It's going to start losing the charge. Battery doesn't perform well. In the same time, if the alkalinity rises, if there is a less acidity, same thing happens. So it has to be calibrated. This way our cells calibrate themselves as well. To calibrate themselves, they need water and salt. They need minerals. And they do the calibration. They do cleansing and calibration. Now, if they cannot do the cleansing because of lack of water, for example, what will happen is that the acidity is going to start increasing. As acidity increases, there becomes a problem of maintaining the charge. And even, for example, if we eat and recharge at the moment, especially if we are glucoholics and we charge on a carbohydrate, on a starch, we are going to increase the charge temporarily, because even if we are not doing anything, the charge is going to start going down because there will be leak. Our cell cannot hold this voltage because it has no proper acidity. And when we lose the charge, we feel lethargic. We just don't have the power. Now, usually brain feeds the organs with energy through frequencies adequate to this organ that they are feeding. Now, if there is a problem with a thought of particular kind that has the same frequency of particular organ, then this organ is not going to be fed with energy. Now, if this organ is already being acidic on cellular level and cannot hold the charge, and now does not receive a support of energy that is supposed to be channeled through the brain as a switchboard because of particular thought, Well, now those cells of this organ are in trouble. What happens is they cannot hold their own charge and they don't get support, so the charge continues dropping. If the charge drops below 0.7 volts, well, this becomes a trigger to cell saying, okay, cell is too damaged to maintain the charge. So what it will do, it will proliferate, which means it is going to split in half, try to keep all the garbage on one side, so the newer part is going to be cleaner, the garbage part is going to separate, and it is supposed to be destroyed by our white blood cells, macrophage. Now here comes problem. If you are glucoholic, you are not producing GCMF, you are producing enzyme to work with the glucose, nagalase, and your cells which should be destroyed are not being destroyed because they are marked. And on the other side, the new cell that now is cleaner and is supposed to be able to hold a charge, well, if the environment is really toxic around it, very acidic, and the cell has too much toxicity, too much acidity, so even the cleaner part of the cell still is quite acidic, and there is no energy coming from a brain because, again, of the holding thought, then even the new cell cannot raise the energy, the electricity, and maintains below 0.7 volts, so it starts proliferating. And the next one proliferates and proliferates because they cannot raise the charge. So it is not only dehydrated acidic cell, but it is directly connected to the mental problem. Okay, so there are the two factors absolutely necessary for cancer. But doctors are not being told this. And even when they hear it, they just disregard it because nobody wants to cure anything that brings them money. So why to find solution? They are doing very well on existing parameters. Now, to make things not complicated, but to keep them more in dark, so this way no further truth is being sought of, we are being told that body produces so-called cancer stem cells. And many doctors believe this, that there is such a thing. Well, everybody who believes this is, if it's doctor, is a moron, because what is a stem cell? Stem cell is not predetermined cell of the body. Stem cell can be turned into any specialized cell. Which are specialized cells? Specialized cells are the cells of particular organs. You have a bone cells, you have island cells, you have blood vessel cells, you have a kidney cells. So stem cell can actually be turned in any one of those. Now, what determines what stem cell will turn into determines actually the vibration. So when the cell finds itself for a longer period of time in one particular area of the body, because of the frequency, I said that every particular organ has its own frequency. The frequency of this organ is going to affect the genetics of the stem cell, and the stem cell is going to be programmed for this area. Okay, and this is how liver cell, the stem cell can become liver cell, can become bone cell, can become red blood cell, or whatever cell it needs to become if it gets stuck in particular area. Now, saying that there is such a thing as cancer stem cell? Well, as soon as a stem cell is programmed to be something specific, it ceases to be stem cell. So if a stem cell all of a sudden becomes a cancer cell, well, it's no longer stem cell. And what made her to be cancer cell is the environment in which stem cell found itself. But the way how this is paraded and how we are being misled is, as we are being told, well, we cannot really do much about it because body produces cancer cells as a regular thing what it does, which is utter nonsense. Okay? This is why some women can have all of a sudden markers for breast cancer. Well, where did the marker come from? How come other women don't have it? It's the environment that starts turning genetic pool in particular way to stimulate the metamorphosis of the cell, which can then become a cancer cell. Now, how you go about it? Well, you change the environment. You don't cut off the cancer. But just saying such a moronic statements as that there are cancer stem cells, it's utter nonsense, it's ridiculous. And I still cannot believe that some prominent doctors fuel this stupidity. Now, how do we deal with cancer? Easy, I just told you. Change the environment. You cannot cut it out. If you cut it out, if you take the cancer out, well, why we have remissions? Because we haven't changed the environment. As long as the environment stays the same cancer is going to appear. But not only the same cancer. As soon as you have one cancer, any kind of cancer in the body, your fear is now going to trigger many problems in your mind. Many different thoughts. Thought of dying. Well, thought of dying is going to affect immediately your structure energy, which is your bones. Okay? So there comes a cancer of the bone. And we say, well, you know, cancer cell just spread around the body and affect the different organs. It's not like that. That doesn't happen like this. It's all energetic, connected to your mind. So we have to really focus on this new information. We have to start paying attention to our thoughts. What we think, how we do things. There is a numerous number of people who have been diagnosed with 4-stage cancer. They have been given 4 months to live. Okay? And what happens? Those people who said, well, I'm not going to go through chemotherapy. If I have 4 months to live, I'm going to do what I always wanted to do. I never had a chance. So they may sell everything and take a cruise around the world. Well, after 4 months when they come home, all of a sudden there is no cancer in their body. Why? Because during the cruise, they were focusing every day on the new beauty that they have encountered. They were not thinking about a disease. They were thinking, okay, I'm today in this sport. Oh yeah, I wanted always to see this and this thing. So you go, you are full of life, you are full of energy. And all of a sudden, you change your environment, your thought, and cancer goes away. And this is not one case. It's numerous cases which we are not being told about, because all our news is only about terrible things to put us down, so we manifest terrible things. Our handlers don't want us to manifest good things, just terrible things. So we have to change this chip. This is the ultimate thing, reprogramming ourselves. As we do it, all diseases are going to vanish. And cancer will be the first one to go. Okay? So, I hope I made some sense. Any question, please let me know. In the meantime, I have to warm up. I have enough of this fun. Okay, here is another view of this beautiful valley, beautiful area, but simply too cold for me. Okay, see you soon. Bye-bye.